Everything in this video is hypothetical. Say if like shit hits the fan, or say like a foreign entity were to invade. But this is all hypothetical. I do not wish or condone any violence on anyone, or any illegal behavior. So yeah, this is all for hypothetical. Your squad game tactics you can use when you're playing insurgents or something. Um, Welcome to another video. If you look forward to our content, I'm sorry I haven't been uploading. It's been a busy couple months. It's kind of gone off the plan that we had, but got this one coming out to you. All right, so we're going to be going over ambushes for guerrillas. All right, so, or your Minuteman or whatever makes you feel better about yourself, feels like you're the good guy. All right, if you haven't checked out my other video on sustaining guerrilla warfare and your movements and all that other shit, I'll place a link up or in the top of the video or whatever, so you can check that out after this video or before if you feel like watching that one first. So yeah, we're gonna go over getting into ambushes, right? So why are ambushes important, especially if you're a guerrilla, right? So in guerrilla warfare, ambushes are pretty key for especially obtaining equipment that maybe you don't have. Why are ambushes great? It's because when you conduct ambushes, the enemy isn't hopefully expecting it. So it gives you, especially if you're considering the having a high violence of action, and just an increased intensity of the scenario that you put your enemy in. So first things first, before you're conducting an ambush, right? What should you be doing? First off is getting intel. Intel is very important. So if you have people in your underground, or you're on the inside of whatever the enemy operations are, so you have a supporter that can give you information about what your enemy is doing and where they're going, maybe their supply runs or something, or convoys that they're conducting ahead of time, or maybe your enemy is not switching up their patrol routes, and they conduct patrols on the same routes at the same time, and they're not changing that up, so that sets them up for an ambush, basically. All right, so areas that you should be considering to ambush somebody is where you have the tactical advantage and the enemy has the least capabilities to maneuver on you. So you want to pick spots maybe in like valleys, where there is maybe on the other side of a roadway or a pathway, or maybe the area has thick vegetation, or there's swamps, or maybe there's a huge hill or something. Something that limits the enemy's ability to maneuver either on you or to retreat away from you. All right. Then after you consider that area, so you do, because if you're operating as a guerrilla or a Minuteman, the area you're in is most likely your home turf, so you're gonna know the area hopefully better than your enemy does. So from there, you're going to conduct your reconnaissance. As a guerrilla force, you're probably not going to go set up a patrol base and then conduct a leader's recon out to figure out where you're going to do it. You're probably going to end up scouting the thing out maybe days beforehand, and you're going to plan it out, get everything in place before you even go out there, right? You'll probably drive there, see if the spot's good that you want to conduct an ambush on, and then create your plan from there. So the things you're going to want to consider, other than the terrain and the area that you're conducting ambush, is maybe the local whoever is basically in power or in charge of the area at the time what is their response time to things that are going on, right? Maybe there's ways you can test these, is like via probing fake calls, dropping fake intel, and then seeing and waiting on your enemy to react to that or whatever. So maybe the ways that you could do that, if is staging accidents, stuff like that, or and then seeing how, or conducting like fake calls, and then seeing if your enemy and how long they take, right? So most areas, I guess, in the United States, local enforcement response time is around 15 minutes, right, to get to a spot. Depending on where you're at, if that's cities or rural areas, probably could be more or less. So gathering that information can be important. Also for like militaries and stuff like that. Also like having scenarios where you can observe them and see how they will react to certain scenarios, so you can gather intel to figure out how long that would be. Next thing you need to know is, like, considering is how many men do you need to have for this. If you're really short, I think you could probably conduct a somewhat decent ambush if you have a very small target that you're trying to hit with maybe 3 guys, right? 3 or less guys. Also just know, like, as soon as you conduct or initiate your ambush, just plan that your enemy has already, from initiation, sent that call out to get backup from somebody, and expect that to start your time to get in and out from the initial initiation to when you conduct all your searches and all your plan of action, basically. And then GTFO. All right, another thing is gear needed. So what are some things you should probably have as a guerrilla force, right? And consider mask, gloves, limited biometrics, right? And chances of people being able to identify you. Explosives, if you have them, would be nice. Depending on your weapon capabilities, if you have belt feds or higher caliber weapons that you could be used to disable vehicles. Maybe if you're not having things like brass catchers to limit the amount of brass that's on the ground, that gives the other side forensics of how you conducted your ambush and where you conducted your ambush and stuff like that, giving them clues like your brass casings laying on the ground. So if you have fingerprints on those, maybe you should load those up with gloves prior to your engagement. And having bags for your collecting the items that you see that are an importance to you, of what you're using to sustain yourself in the ambush. So like if you're looking for weapon systems that will improve your capabilities, their comms, maps, basically intel. Maybe you're doing it for their food or water capabilities, or just having their food or water, or maybe they're just their equipment, uniform, stuff like that. So being able to have someone carry loot bags to get on and off the objective with their stuff is a good idea. Other than just denying the enemy that use, right? So now into the initiation. Either you're going to, after you've done all your planning and gathering of intel and everything like that, and then you consider how many guys you're going to have. Let's say you have 5 to 6, maybe 3, right? First off is you're going to go stage a vehicle or place your, you initiate or infill away from the objective, right? So you're going to then move to the objective, you're going to walk there or whatever, and set up. You're going to have your outer securities. You want to have someone placed on the outside of each sector. So if you have a road, let's say a convoy's coming through that you're planning to ambush, or a VIP or something, like say we want weapons, right? Or something that's going to increase our effectiveness our effectiveness in the field or whatever, or our lethality, right? So you're going to establish your outward sectors of security. So you're going to want to place one on each end of the ambush, right? So your outer teams, which will be monitoring for incoming traffic and enemy movement that's supposed to back up after your initiation of the ambush, right? So from there, you're going to have your Alpha and Bravo team or your support team or whatever, and you're going to want to set them up along the road depending on whether or not you're doing a linear ambush or like an L shape or something, right? So linear ambush, you're going to want your two teams on one side of the road or a pathway, and then an L shape maybe in front of the ambush or in front of the target, and one on the side of the target. I'll post diagrams for how they are up on the screen. You're going to have your initial element, right? Some things to consider: if you do have an open bolt fed system, you're definitely going to want to not probably initiate with it. I was in a training scenario where some dude would he tried to initiate the ambush with a saw. The bolt ended up closing on an empty chamber. We ended up hearing it turn and reacted to the fire before basically the ambush was initially even initiated on their side, and which caused fatalities on their end, even though they were still able to wipe us out. But it was basically spoiled their ambush and caused more problems on their end. So initiating with a reliable source, so whether that be your closed bolt systems or whatever you deem to be reliable, say explosive or something like that, right? So having at least having a secondary means also of initiation of your ambush. So maybe initiate first with your small arms and then hit your use your belt fed systems. After that, or before that, let's say we're going to want to halt or slow the convoy. You're going to want to halt or slow the convoy down for the during the ambush, right? So what do you want to do? So you could either drop a tree down in front of the ambush, causing it to stop, or have a vehicle causing a vehicle accident, or have an explosive device that's set up to initiate it, either via tripwire or remote detonation, if you have those means. So you probably want to blow them on the first vehicle to stop it, first or second vehicle, and maybe if you have enough, you maybe blow them on the have them spaced out enough so they either hit the end of the convoy or somewhere in the middle. And then if you're close enough, if you have the means, grenades could also be good to throw. Tree and everything, and say if you have a tree, you drop it down in front of the roadway, it's going to cause the convoy to slow down, or the foot traffic or whatever to slow. So it will, so you're initially trying to make your life easier and their life harder, especially when they're trying to react to your ambush. So like I said earlier, as soon as you initiate this ambush, just expect their RTO or whoever is making a phone call or radioing out to their other guys to let them know that they're being ambushed. So from that initiation, probably start your timer for whatever local response time is. Let's say 15 minutes. So that's 15 minutes from the initiation to the end of the ambush that you have to get in and out of that off the X, right? So after you initiate the ambush and you call this and you feel confident and you do you lift fires or whatever, and then you decide to move on to the objective with your alpha team, all having your support team overwatch. You go through, clear the bodies, and you're not going to really have a whole lot of time, so just give them a couple double taps, make sure they're dead, move on through, clear on through, have your Bravo team or your support team come through and sweep behind if you can. If you have that manning, do it. So make sure you don't miss anything. From there, go back through, make sure you loot the bodies or check the bodies for things that you need. You properly clear a body, make sure it's not booby trapped. But go ahead and start looking for ammo, weapons, uniforms if you want them. food, water, comms, their equipment, maps. Keep an eye on that for maps, any kind of written information or orders or something that they might have on them. If you hit a high enough value target. But if you're just doing it for ammo or weapon capabilities, say you want, a belt fed for your team, that's probably where you're going to get it, because you're not going to be able to buy it. So conducting your ambush, and then putting all that stuff in your bags, and then getting off the X, retreating back in. Where after that, you're probably going to want you're going to already have hopefully planned your escape routes. Have your escape routes planned. Maybe you had a vehicle stage somewhere, or you have areas where you can ditch your gear and change into some more of some other clothes, so you're not recognizable from the ambush. Say if there's any bystanders, right? And then, okay, so say, let's rewind this a little bit. If you cannot carry the items that that you want off the enemy or something like that, maybe say they're too big, or you don't exactly need them, is deny the enemy's ability to use them. So maybe you could rig up a booby trap on the vehicles or in the area that you conducted your ambush, so when the reinforcements come or the backup comes, they have booby traps to deal with, or you deny them the ability to reuse their equipment, so destroying their vehicles or any of the equipment that they might have that you left behind. So like messing up, if you can't really exactly destroy it all the way, you can mess it up, like slash tires or bust out windshield, stuff like that. Get off the X, get to your escape plan, so have your way out planned. Maybe even stash your gear somewhere off the X on your way. Maybe have an extra pair of clothes in the trunk of your getaway vehicle, change into those, and get off the X, have a route planned, and then maybe break up into different teams as you get away from the X. So maybe you have 2 different vehicles staged, so each team takes a vehicle off. And then, so just make sure you're getting out of there before any kind of reinforcements comes, because that's where your outward security comes in. So maybe if you had their backup coming, like the Chinese coming in with the backup or whatever, and your outward security guys will then, their job is to suppress them and slow them down from getting onto the X. Now, say you initiate the ambush and your violence of action is not great enough, or say you eventually realize that the element of surprise is they already knew your intentions or expected it, and they brought a bunch of other guys, right? So that's when you're gonna have instantly take your retreat measures in, and you're gonna want to get off the X. So turn, burn, get off the X, pop smoke, whatever your SOPs are. And I guess going back over to why you're going to be double tapping the guys on the ground, you're not going to be wanting to take anyone with you. You don't have the logistics to take prisoners, and probably their intel is probably not going to be worth it unless you are doing it to capture a high value target or something like that. So those are some considerations for you guys. If you like the content, check out our Telegram channel. You can stay up to date with stuff going on. There's people that like to share videos and stuff in there, and other information that they find valuable. If you guys like the video, subscribe, join the Telegram again, check out our website, and thanks for watching, guys.